Y'all, Nikki trying to ease her way out of the screen and take a nap because this week is supposed to be me talking about something in the water festival. And you see how she leaning out of the picture?
Hi. Oh, wait, we didn't even start. Hi.
Hey, y'all, this is episode
30. I think.
Ooh, this is 30.
This is episode 30. It's going to be all about something in the water.
Festival.
Take it away, Tam.
Look, and I'm chewing gum hard. Okay, first of all, let's give you background on something in the water festival. A lot of people didn't know what it was. Let me say this: Lil Duval performed, and he said that he had never heard of it until the day before when he came to perform. And then he performed in front of like 30,000 people. He said it was the biggest crowd he ever performed.
I believe it.
So, something in the Water Festival is the brainchild of Pharrell Williams of Nerd and Neptune's fame. Pharrell and I are from the same hometown. We used to party in the same circles when I was in high school, but I haven't spoken to him since before 2000 when I moved to Atlanta. So at this point, I'm a familiar face without a name. But I just remember one day there was a post about something in the water because I follow him on social media. Something in the water, and it was a lineup of names, and I was like, "What? The French Montana?" And that it was gonna be in Virginia Beach. Well, since it's my hometown, my mama still lived there. So if I went home, I wouldn't have to pay to stay nowhere. So, but I had to get tickets. So me and my sister got tickets. We got plane tickets, and it just happened to be the same weekend. Stop it!
You wanted me to participate. I'm participating.
Oh my God. And so we bought tickets, to go home, and then we were going to the festival. It just happened to be the same weekend as my mom's birthday. So that for my mother, that was perfect. Because most of the time, it's either one of us, but it's very rare that both of us are home at the same time. So, me and my sister started checking the weather for the festival. Let me backtrack. Most black people do not go to music festivals saying Essence. Most black people have been to Essence. I've never been to Essence. But any music festivals that I have ever been to, there's usually more others than there are people of color, brown folks. I don't know if that's just historically, or some people don't like big crowds, or there's not enough artists on the ticket for people to pay an astronomical amount of money to go see, which is a lot of times. So you have a question? Yes.
I think I know why black people don't go to festivals.
Say.
They don't like to stand up for long periods of time. Don't nobody like no damn grass. And it's nasty. Germs is everywhere. Did you hear about Coachella? We'll talk about that later.
Oh, God, that's
Go
disgusting.
Ahead. Continue.
Well, me and my sister didn't have all these reasons, but we were just saying that my sister saw Anderson .Paak at One Music Fest. That One Music Fest is a music festival that they do here that started off as one day, and now it's become a 2-day festival in the park when it used to be at the Lakewood Amphitheater. I don't know what name it has in front of it this month because it changes every time.
It's still Lakewood for now.
Yeah, it's still Lakewood for now. So, but Anderson .Paak said that was the first time he had seen that many black people at a music festival, because he usually, when he performs, is for a group of white people, just because black people really don't do music festivals outside of Essence. So, me and my sister have been to One Music Fest. She's been more times than me. We flew to Philly to go to Made in America. So we kind of understand how the structure of a festival works. I've been to Music Midtown here in Atlanta a couple of times myself. So we kind of know how it works. When they first announced it, people in the city didn't want it. Um, First of all, they didn't want it because it was being put together by a black man, and they just assumed that it was going to attract a bunch of black kids and they were going to tear the city up. But what was astonishing to me was that a lot of the black people in the city were complaining about it also, saying it was going to be, saying it was going to be a mess. It was going to be too many people. Don't nobody want to see that. Ain't nobody going to pay that much money. So, you know, there were all these things that people were saying. Virginia Beach is, you know, a beach city. There's other portions of the city, but, you know, the biggest attraction is the phone Jesus.
Wait a minute.
Pardon me.
Brief intermission for a second. We're having some technical difficulties. I don't know what's going on around here. I tell you, you people.
Shush.
People.
So I'm back. Okay.
Okay.
So, shut up.
See, too many black people in one podcast. That's what happened.
I can't stand it. So, historically, Virginia Beach is not the most friendly town for colored people. I grew up there, born and raised, and it was always a feel of they didn't really want us at the beach. But, you know, we went anyway as teenagers. And there were several times when lots of us have, you know, gotten into trouble. But they used to every year have what they call Greek Fest. And it was Labor Day weekend just before black college students went back to school. Like, school had already started, but it was like the last big holiday before, like, Christmas. And it was the end of summer. And you had people come down from New York, from everywhere. It was officially where I met Puffy when he was a Howard student.
AKA P. Diddy.
P. Diddy. That was, you know, many eons ago. I was still in high school when I met him, so that says it all in itself. I shouldn't have been out there. But my parents went to New York City one year for the West Indian Day Parade in New York City, and I was home alone because I was a senior in high school at the time. So she didn't have a problem with me and my sister being home together. And my family, you know, like where we live, literally lived like a mile from where I was. So I had family around me the whole time, so it wasn't like a big deal. I had driver's license, I could drive, do that. My mom was like, it was Greek Fest weekend, and she was like, don't go to the beach because I feel like there's going to be trouble. Don't go. Well, of course I went. I had a friend in town. My friend from high school had relocated to New Jersey, and she was in her first year of college, and so she came down to visit. And we went to the beach because that's what we was going to do because we wanted to see the people. I don't know what happened. We were walking down the street. All of a sudden, they redirected traffic, so there weren't any more cars on the street. So people were walking in the street, and then the next thing I know, I saw cops in riot gear. Next thing I know, I was in a parking garage underneath a car, trying not to get hit. Running to the street to try to find out where my cousin was so she could pick me up as the people started to loot and rob all the stores. So I get home, and of course my mother is calling because she sees this on the national news. But I am not answering the phone because I'm not home. So my mom is freaking out and going off because she don't know where I'm at. I eventually get back home, but it was like this huge riot. Then they shut the beach down. After that, they didn't want any more events for us at the beach. And I'm pretty much after that really stopped as an adult. I really stopped going to the beach. I remember after Greek Fest was over, I had a Greek Fest T-shirt, and I wore it to school. And of course, all of my white counterparts had an issue with my T-shirt. Mind you, the high school that I went to, when my graduating class was like 300 people, and only 11 of us were black in my entire graduating class. So that kind of tells you where I went to school. So, that's kind of the history of black people in Virginia Beach. And the thing is that because that event occurred before the internet was invented,
Not the group, the actual
the
buildings.
actual
Internet.
www.
Al Gore's internet.
Yes, the internet.
Steve Jobs' internet.
Before search engines like Alta Vista and Lycos and things like that.
Netscape.
All of that stuff happened beforehand. So the best way to erase a story is to not put it on the internet. So if you went right now and Googled Virginia Beach Greek Fest, you would get 1 or 2 articles, but there's no real information on what happened. But I mean, there's a million people, if you just ask the question on social media, there's a million people that can tell you they were there and tell you what happened. So what started to happen is in the last couple, I guess 4 or 5 years, the last weekend before classes let out at black colleges became Beach Week in Virginia Beach. And of course, they didn't like Beach Week because it was too many of us for Beach Week. So after they've had some issues with Beach Week for the past couple of years, Pharrell decided that he was going to do his Something in the Water Fest because every time they had Beach Week, the city refused to do anything for the students who were coming to town. They knew all these people were coming to town, but instead of trying to coordinate events or something to occupy their time, they didn't want to do anything. They just didn't want the people there. Well, of course, the hotels want the people there because they get no money. So what Pharrell did was that he decided to do a festival, a music festival, the same week as College Beach Week. So it would be the replacement for College Beach Week. Now, if people still wanted to come, they were welcome to come. You could come to the concert, but there were things that Pharrell had going on that were free to the community also. So it was, it was a lot of, stuff to occupy people's time if they were there for Beach Week and didn't have a ticket to the concert. What I was told was that the concert did sell out. It was supposed to be Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday. And I heard it was over 35,000 people out on the beach. Now, the concert was literally on the beach. Like, there was sand, and I could look, and if I wanted to walk over the hill, I could touch my feet in water if I wanted to. So it wasn't like there were no streets blocked off. Everything took place at the beach on an end of the beach that's usually that's not busy. So we kind of had an idea who the artists were that were coming, but what we were really looking for was a schedule. So this is what the original lineup, and I say original, I'll tell you why it's the original lineup. The original lineup was Friday's lineup started at 2:00. It was Radiant Children, Masego, Maggie Rogers, Lil Uzi Vert, Janelle Monáe, Amigos, the Dave Matthews Band, Pharrell and Friends, which Pharrell had each night a set of him and his friends, and they performed certain songs that he produced. And Diplo was closing out the night DJing. Okay? That was Friday. So Saturday's lineup started earlier in the day at 12:40. Was John Robert, Amber Mark, Rosalia, Mac DeMarco, Ferg, who is ASAP Ferg, who has dropped the ASAP. But he's still a part of ASAP Mob, but he just goes by Ferg now. So, Kaytranada, J Balvin, SZA, Travis Scott, Pharrell and Friends, and Virgil Abloh. He was DJing that night. Right, like Virgil that does Louis Vuitton. Yeah, he's also a DJ. I didn't know that. And so the Sunday lineup was a little different because what they had on Sunday was the pop up church. And pop up church was from 12 to 4, but they also had a concert which consisted of Kurt Franklin, Mary, John P. Key, Ty Tribbett, Israel Houghton. And that went on into the night. So that was the Sunday church service, but the Sunday lineup started at 1:30, and it consisted of Cap G, LaKaylee 47, Drum, Janae Aiko, Pusha T, Teddy Riley and Friends, Charlie Wilson, Chris Brown, and Anderson .Paak and the Free Nationals. So of course the lineup is just blew me away. Just all that. And so we checking the weather. Well, come to find out it's supposed to rain on Friday. So we buy ponchos. We we can't bring in umbrellas. So we get ready for the weather, but the weather gets really bad on Friday. Like super duper bad that the rain is blowing sideways and it's thundering and it's like, you know what, these faces you making are killing me. So it's thundering and lightning and all these things. And so eventually they canceled what was Friday night. So most of the people who were to perform on Friday night did not. So, the Pharrell and Friends, he had specific people that were coming. So we knew Snoop Dogg, we knew Diddy, we knew Usher. So most of the people we knew, but what I have been told, and I don't have any truth to verify, but that Gwen Stefani was supposed to be there Friday night, but she couldn't be there for Saturday, so she didn't get to perform. That one of the surprise guests for Friday night was actually Justin Timberlake, but he couldn't be there Saturday, so he didn't get to perform at all, which was boo his. So Saturday night comes, everybody's excited for Pharrell and Friends. Snoop comes out first, and then he does Beautiful with Pharrell, but then he does What's My Name, and the whole crowd is Snoop Dogg, the whole nine. So everybody's going crazy. Now up until this point, my mama, who does not have a ticket, has been telling me weeks in advance that Jay-Z and Beyonce was coming. And I was like, why? I was like, Jay-Z not coming because he got that concert Friday night at Webster Hall. So we ain't gonna see Jay-Z. So, the people perform or whatever. But what happened was that Pharrell decided he performed fronting. And everybody knows that Jay-Z does a verse on fronting. So he's performing the song, and what happens is, when it gets to that part where Jay-Z's supposed to start rapping, it was like everybody in the whole audience held their breath at the same time. And then we heard him before we saw him. And then everybody pretty much lost their shit for the rest of the night. Because at this point, that him being on stage paid for the whole ticket. That was the whole ticket right there. So Jay-Z came out there, did a couple songs, and he, it was just a whole bunch. Diddy came out there, he brought the babies on stage, his sons that was out there dancing with him. Charlie Wilson came out with Snoop. He did all his ad-libs, which were amazing. It was funny. Because Uncle Charlie was out there, he was ready to turn it out. Nisha, who am I missing? Usher came out. Huh? Oh, Busta Rhymes came out, and him and Diddy did Pastor Cavassier. Really? Your demonstration of Busta Rhymes is thick neck? Busta Rhymes came out. Who else am I missing? I feel like I'm missing a bunch of people. Missy, Timberland, and they even brought out Magoo.
I
So
thought Magoo was dead. Wait, I gotta talk about that. I thought Magoo was dead and gone.
no, Magoo is very much alive,
Well, look
child.
at how the Lord works.
Yes, Magoo was on the stage. Yes, NERD, he brought Shade out and they did with the girls in the bathroom.
All the girls standing in the line for the bathroom. Which is probably very true at the fest.
Yes. I mean, but you know that song's about cocaine.
I witnessed it, yes.
Huh?
I witnessed it.
She witnessed cocaine?
No, she witnessed the girls in the bathroom. Oh, yes, and cocaine. She did witness cocaine.
I was right.
I forgot.
I wasn't even there. I was right.
Yeah, we witnessed cocaine. That's a whole nother thing. But, so that was, Saturday. Well, first of all, let me let you all know that you're never supposed to wear sneakers in the sand. And by the time we got home, my feet didn't feel, and my ankles were swollen, and I was in super bad shape. I'm not an old lady, but I never did a foot soak, but I did this weekend. So
Epsom salt on deck.
yes, we were so tired that we pretty much didn't get there Sunday until late because it was just so draining because we had been out there for like 10 hours the first day. So when we got there, Pusha T started, right? Okay. So when we got to the show, Pusha T was coming on stage. He was, he's Pusha T.
Yeah, me too. Okay,
Yeah.
everybody meet
Mr. Me Too. Yeah, Pharrell did that the night before. So Pusha T performed. I'm trying to think of the good ones. Cause between Pusha T, first of all, y'all ain't gonna believe me, and young people, y'all ain't gonna want to see it. But when I tell you that Charlie Wilson put on the best show ever,
Go ahead.
okay, he did. He did everything. He was out there dancing. He was running around, and I know that Charlie is pushing 80.
I was ready to come back, and I'm like,
I'm sorry. I don't know how old Charlie Wilson is, but he was turning it out. But Tanerelle and friends, they did. This is something that I have to speak of my upbringing, and me and my sister talked about. Is that where I'm from? It's a city full of black people, white people, and Filipinos. Not Puerto Ricans, not Hispanic people, but Filipinos. So where I'm from, Filipinos are very much aligned with black people. So when Blackstreet was up there singing, what was the song? She said, I keep getting it wrong.
No diggity?
No, it wasn't No Diggity. It was a slow jam.
Before I let you go?
Yeah.
Don't leave.
Don't leave. I keep thinking this before I leave. So it was some Filipino kids behind us, and they were singing. The one dude was like, no, baby, no, baby, no. And then he was like, sing with me. And we all was like, if you take your love. So it was us in the middle of a group of Filipinos, and we was rocking back and forth and singing loud. I miss my Filipinos. I miss my Filipino food. I gotta find y'all in Atlanta because y'all my people.
I feel like you are deviating from what you're supposed to be talking about.
But this is a part of the show.
Filipino food.
I said Filipino people and the food. When you get the people, you get the food. Anyway, so when Teddy Riley came out, he brought out Coco. She sang her face off. Sang Coco. He had a couple of the guys from Blackstreet that were on stage with him that sang. They sang some Blackstreet songs. And then he was gracious enough to bring out Lil Duval. And you get to hear 35,000 people jump up and holler, smile bitch, come on. So, it was amazing to see Lil Duval get up there and act a fool on stage, but, everybody knew the words to the song, so it was what it was. After Charlie Wilson turned it out, the sky started to get dark, and it started to rain, because Chris Brown was coming on stage. And he brought his super bad mojo with him to the stage.
Can't even choke no more.
When he left the stage, the rain stopped. That's all I'm gonna say. I have this is my PSA.
Sage because
Stop buying your kids tickets to see Chris Brown. He got mind control over your children. I laughed on Saturday night before we saw Chris Brown. My sister made a joke about him, so much so that it made me cry tears because it was so funny. She was like, he sang 2 words and then he started popping and locking. And
all facts.
that is exactly what he did the whole time. Had the audacity to come out 30 minutes late. Nobody had come out late other than Travis Scott, but Travis Scott at least sent his DJ on the stage. Travis Scott's DJ was at least playing music for the crowd until Travis Scott came on the stage. Chris Brown, it was radio silent. And then got mad when they cut his time. He said some smart shit I didn't like. I mean, here's the thing. Brought out Trey Songz. Trey Songz could have done 2 or 3 songs if Chris had been on time. But all they did was that cheat shit that I don't really like. Anyway. So then, because Chris Brown has mind control over your children, when he left the stage, they all left, which widened up the space for us to enjoy Anderson .Paak with no drama. Got a couple of people dancing hard to Anderson .Paak. Like we got to fully enjoy his performance. And then there's something in the Water Festival was over. So I will say that for all the naysayers, fuck y'all. You should have been there. And now I can't get a hotel room because all y'all assholes are going next year. Yes, that's what I'm going to say. Because y'all didn't want to support it the first year. I'm going to wait and see how it goes. Those type of people, we don't like your talent at all. We don't like your kind at all. It did rain and the show went on rain or shine. We bought ponchos and we stood in the rain. What my sister said was so endearing to me is that she said, how many times do I get to dance in the rain and listen to Anderson .Paak? She was like, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. So it was one of those, it was a moment.
Teaching like that too.
Yeah, so it was a moment. The first lineup of Something in the Water was a moment that will not happen next year. It'll be good, but it won't be Jay-Z. With Beyonce backstage dancing around. It won't be that. But it'll be, it'll be an event. We are planning to go. If you're interested. I found an Airbnb already. So
As long as it's not the same weekend as my mama's birthday.
no, it's always the last weekend in April.
Okay.
Is that your mama's birthday?
My mama's weekend is usually the 3rd weekend of April.
Okay, yeah, so the last weekend in April
7 more days.
is what it is. So if everybody, if you're interested in Something in the Water, just keep your eyes peeled. Follow them on Instagram, because the page is still up. Now they're gonna have definitely next year. They're gonna have more sponsors because Adidas was out there, Timberland was out there. Somebody I know got a free pair of Timberlands because they were giving them away.
Not the artists, not the
Not the artists, but the boots, and they were nice boots. So they were giving away. My sister was telling me we didn't understand why the ice cream line was so long, but it was Billionaire Boys Club ice cream they were selling. But when you bought the ice cream, they gave you free T-shirts.
Oh, okay.
So we didn't know that because we couldn't figure out why people was waiting in line for ice cream when there was porta potties. Like, I don't. The idea of that's kind of gross. But yeah, the vendors, the food was good. They had wine and cocktails and beer. So, and then there's hotels up and down. So the people that got to stay in those hotels, forget y'all. I stayed at my mama's house. She made me crab cakes for breakfast. It's all good. So, so it was a complete success. even though people were wishing for it to fail, it was very successful, and I'm just looking for bigger and better things from it next year. I mean, they probably will sell more tickets, but because it was the first year, they went with 35,000. But I'm pretty sure they could have got another 15,000 people out there, easy. If you want to look at some of the photos from the event, just go to the hashtag SITW or hashtag something in the water. Pharrell was on CBS Morning with Gayle King this morning. They did an interview over the weekend and it ran this morning on the news. And she asked him where he got the name of the event from, and he was saying there's so many athletes and scholars and educational people and musicians that come from that area that people always say it's got to be something in the water.
Mm-hmm.
So that was how he came up with the name for it. A lot of people don't know, like people from the area. Michael Vick is from that area. Half of the and like a whole bunch of them Seahawks that was that won the Super Bowl. A bunch of them is from the area. Russell Wilson's from Richmond, Virginia. Like it's a lot of people from Virginia that people don't know are from Virginia. So it's just a lot that goes on in that area that people don't. Allen Iverson, he was the one that helped put up the back. They had a basketball court out there that was sponsored by Adidas and stuff like that. So it was a whole bunch of different things were going on in the area this past weekend. But for me, it made me proud of my city. It's very rare that I say that I'm proud of my city because they do some fucked up shit sometimes. The whole state. But I can honestly say I was proud of everything that had been done and how it came off and how it was very well organized and the time and energy that people put into it to make it a successful event. So, y'all get ready for next year because I'm going again. This is going to be the annual thing, especially since it's around my mama's birthday. She can't get enough of it. So, it's about her. Not about the event. So yes, it was really, really good. Do you have any questions, darling?
I don't have any questions. I told you this podcast isn't about me today. It's all about you.
I mean, look, I talked for a good 30 minutes. Ain't that something?
Mm-hmm. Look at how God is working today.
Yes.
I don't have an unpopular opinion this week. Actually, I may not have an unpopular opinion. I have a question though.
Okay.
I was just talking about Soulja Boy getting sentenced for 240 days. And then we know that Kodak Black is going to jail. And there's somebody else going to jail too. Remy might be going to jail for the assault that she allegedly did against
Brittany, you're a snitch. Okay, anyway.
There's one other person that's supposed to be going to jail.
And the funny thing about Brittany is that if you ever watched her, she always
pop
or jump, and she about 2 feet tall.
Baby.
But you want to send Remy back to jail? You think you get back on Love and Hip Hop? Ho? Get out of here.
Not never.
Not ever. Never, ever.
Trying to see who
Come
else
around
is
here.
going to jail.
No more.
I really can't tell you, but somebody else is going to jail. I just want y'all to know. Let me think. Kodak, Soulja Boy. There is somebody else that's going to jail. It's not anybody with a Travis in their name. Not anybody with a Young in their name, to my knowledge. No, G Herbo is going to jail for putting his hands on his baby mama.
Why is she popular?
I have no idea. Instagram, my thoughts are always popular.
Yeah, it's like she gave birth to
And
this man's baby, and now she's popular. I don't understand.
When I think of that person, I'll put it in the comments, but I can't remember who else. But there's a lot of y'all faves going to jail. Y'all faves.
Yeah.
Not our faves.
Not our
Y'all
faves.
faves. Going to jail. I don't think that was my question. I think that's all I wanted to say. I don't even have a question because if you're going to jail, you're going to jail. Except for Remy, I never want her to go to jail.
Yeah, I want her to go back to jail.
Never.
And dude, this is the crazy thing is that her parole was up August 1st.
I know.
Come on, Brittany. Snitch.
So I push her down the flight of stairs. Okay.
Anyway, yeah.
I don't have It's a Vibe this week because I'm under the weather, mentally, emotionally, physically.
Well, I mean, this could totally be the Something in the Water Festival episode.
There you go.
That's, we can make it that. That's fine.
Oh, I do have somebody that he don't even listen to the podcast. He just sent it to me randomly. Hey Greg, I know you don't watch the podcast. Anyhow, he sent me this young lady. I gotta save it in my phone. At least I hope I do. And I was listening to her on the flight. Hello, let me find what I was looking. And when she came on, I was like, my God, her name is, what is the child's name? Tanerelle?
Yeah, I don't know her.
Okay, just listen. Let's fast forward a little bit. Okay, I have to pause it because y'all not gonna get me in trouble.
Right.
She does not have an album. Let me tell you how disappointed I am. She has 6 good songs, and her name is Tanerelle, Tanerelle. There's a little accent over the one of the E's. So I'm hoping it's Tanerelle. I don't know. But I think you guys should listen to her. Like I said, she only got 5 songs, so you might as well.
I mean, hey, why not?
Yeah, it's quite sexy.
It sounds good. I'll have to check her out.
Yeah.
I know there was a ton of new music that came out. I was not really looking because I was trying to be amongst the people this weekend. So I'll have to come back with some listens for next week.
I listen to some things, but I don't think anything stood, because you know I be listening. Let me scroll through here real quick. Nothing really stood out to me. Oh, Floating with 21 Savage and Schoolboy Q. That was very
The
decent.
Schoolboy Q whole album come out this past Friday?
Yes, it did.
Okay, that's what I need to listen to.
Yes.
I finally heard the Chopsticks song that you was talking about.
Chopsticks. Okay, I'm sorry.
You was so silly, Chopsticks.
I like a little silly song. Too Many Guys by A$AP Rocky and Joey Badass. I did not listen to that. I should right now. In fact, let's just do that for a hot second. Oh, the Lord said we can't listen to it right now. So sorry.
Jeez.
Oh, okay. It's on the damn Game of Thrones soundtrack.
Ah.
Let me fast forward real quick. Okay, that's enough. I ain't getting in trouble. I'm not gonna say I didn't really listen to it, so I can't give you guys anything. Ooh, Rico nasty out here, hey girl.
I think she dropped the whole project this weekend.
I think so too. Yeah, so that's all I had, really and truly, because I was not on top of my stuff. I was packing so I could go home. So,
Well,
that is your short 40-minute version of the Something in the Water podcast, episode 30. Thank you guys for watching. I promise I'll be on my shit next week. I swear to God.
we just exhausted from these home trips.
Going home for the weekend and coming back and then going to work.
Yeah, that's for the
It's for the
goddamn birds.
It's for the one.
That's why I need a sugar daddy. Come on, I don't want to do this for
Podcast over. Say bye to me.